You're here because something in your spirit has been whispering to you, a feeling you can't ignore anymore. And it's directly connected to the 5 signs your twin flame is awakening spiritually. By the end of this message, you will understand the subtle signals, the hidden shifts, and why your heart has been sensing this transformation before your mind could name it. Before we dive deeper, take a second to subscribe to the channel so you never miss messages that your soul is clearly seeking. What you're about to hear will resonate in a way that feels almost uncanny because it's meant for you. There's a reason your intuition pulled you here today. When a twin flame awakening begins, the energy around you changes first. You feel it before anything appears physically. Your heart becomes more alert, your dreams more vivid, your emotions more intense. These are the earliest signs that something spiritual is moving behind the scenes, and it's connected to him. You may have noticed moments where you randomly think about him more frequently, not out of longing, but out of pure energetic pull. That's the beginning of his awakening. His soul is responding to shifts he doesn't consciously understand yet, and because you're spiritually attuned, you feel the echo long before he realizes what's happening inside him. When twin flames awaken, the first sign is emotional turbulence. Not chaos, but activation. He may suddenly feel overwhelmed, reflective, nostalgic, or restless. His soul recognizes the connection long before his logical mind catches up. And because you're connected, you feel small waves of that restlessness too. There are moments when you sense his energy as if he were standing right next to you. You might be washing dishes, driving, or lying in bed, and suddenly he feels close. That's not fantasy. That's a spiritual link strengthening. His awakening sends out energetic signals, and your soul receives them instantly. Sometimes, his behavior shifts without explanation. He may go silent, pull away, or act distant. But this isn't rejection, it's recalibration. His awakening makes him face truths he avoided for years. And because he doesn't yet understand the depth of this connection, his instinct is to retreat until he can process it. Another sign appears through dreams. You may dream of him suddenly and intensely. These dreams feel real, almost like memories. They are communication from soul to soul, because when he awakens spiritually, he begins connecting with you on the astral level, even when his physical self is confused. Your body may react as well. Heart flutters, warmth in the chest, sudden waves of emotion. These are energetic downloads. Your soul knows something is shifting, and your physical body responds. It's his awakening merging with yours, synchronizing your frequencies again. Your intuition becomes louder, sharper. You start receiving inner guidance that feels divine. You begin sensing where he is emotionally, even when you have no physical confirmation. This spiritual insight is one of the clearest signs that he is awakening, because you're receiving the energetic reflections of his soul. He may begin to feel your presence too. Even if he's unaware of twin flames, he feels you. The pull, the comfort, the strange familiarity. He may think of you unexpectedly or wonder why he can't fully move on, no matter what he tries. That's the awakening unraveling everything he once believed about love. If he sends you emotional waves, sadness, longing, confusion, you might feel them as if they are your own. This is energetic mirroring. Twin flames share emotional pathways during awakening, and you become a vessel for his transformation long before he can express it. You may start seeing synchronicities everywhere, repeating numbers, songs, symbols. These aren't coincidences, they are confirmations. The universe uses synchronicities to guide both of you through the awakening process, especially when physical communication is blocked. He may begin experiencing tower moments, relationships falling apart, routines shifting, unexpected internal changes. These disruptions aren't punishments, they're spiritual resets. His soul is preparing him for alignment with you, clearing everything that no longer resonates with his awakened self. As his awakening strengthens, he becomes more sensitive. He may feel emotions more deeply than ever before. He begins questioning old beliefs, old patterns, old relationships. His heart starts seeking something deeper, something real, and that something is you. You will notice a change in your own energy too. You begin healing old wounds unexpectedly. You may feel a sudden desire to release past pain. This is the energetic synchronization between you and him, a divine balancing triggered by his spiritual rise. Sometimes, he withdraws emotionally, not out of avoidance, but because his soul is undergoing internal surgery. Awakening requires solitude, reflection, silence. You are not being rejected. You are being protected from witnessing a sacred inner transformation. You may notice sudden flashes of memories with him, moments that feel divinely orchestrated. These memories surface because your souls are revisiting important milestones, preparing to integrate them into a new chapter. The connection may feel stronger than ever, even without communication. You feel him in your spirit. You feel him in your energy. This is the spiritual cord vibrating at a higher frequency because his awakening is amplifying the bond between you. He might start feeling guilt, not because he wronged you, but because awakening reveals truth. He begins understanding the depth of your connection and sees the ways he resisted it. This inner conflict is part of his growth. You may sense him sending you silent messages, longing, apologies, desire for connection. Twin flames communicate through energy long before they speak through words. You feel what his heart is learning to say. He may become more drawn to spirituality without realizing why. He might start questioning life, researching emotions, seeking deeper meaning. This curiosity is the soul awakening through him, guiding him toward you. During this process, you'll also evolve. You'll step into divine feminine energy, calm, intuitive, radiant. Your growth creates the energetic container for his awakening, helping him rise without fear. Your angels may send signs that he's thinking of you, a song, a name, a sudden pull to look at the clock at the exact same time daily. These signs are spiritual confirmations that the awakening is mutual, even if he's slower to understand it. You might notice moments of extreme peace followed by moments of emotional intensity. This is the recalibration of your connection, like two frequencies learning to harmonize again. It's a sacred dance guided by the universe. He begins feeling love in a way he never has before, a love that scares him because it's too real, too deep, too divine. And it's that very love that wakes him spiritually, because your connection was always meant to break open his soul. The final sign is alignment, an inner knowing that the path is clearing. Even if nothing has changed physically, you feel the shift spiritually. You sense his heart opening, his soul awakening, his energy reaching toward yours. Your twin flame awakening is not an accident. It is the universe preparing both of you for the next chapter, one where your souls finally meet at the same vibration. Trust what you feel. Your intuition is correct. His awakening has already begun. If you're still here, it's because your soul recognizes something in these words, something that feels like truth. And in return for your openness, I want to give you even more clarity about these 5 signs your twin flame is awakening spiritually. You deserve understanding. You deserve peace. And you deserve to know what your intuition has been trying to show you. One of the first signs you might notice is that his energy is becoming more aligned with yours, even if he doesn't realize it. You feel this subtle synchronization, like your hearts are breathing at the same rhythm again. This alignment isn't imagined, it's the effect of his spiritual awareness rising. As his awakening progresses, he begins questioning old beliefs about love. Things he used to accept easily now feel hollow to him. He starts feeling a hunger for something deeper, something real. That hunger is a direct effect of your shared soul frequency pulling him out of old patterns. You may sense him becoming more introspective. He might seem quieter in energy, as though he is listening to something inside himself for the first time. This inner listening is a powerful sign of spiritual awakening because the soul speaks only when the mind finally becomes still. There are moments when you feel a sudden wave of warmth in your chest, especially when you think of him. This warmth is not coincidence. It is the heart chakra responding to his energetic shifts. His awakening activates yours, and your body mirrors the transformation. Another sign unfolds in his emotional sensitivity. He begins noticing things he once ignored, subtleties, memories, regrets, longings. He may try to hide it, but his soul can't be hidden from you. You feel his emotions as if they pass through your own heart. He might also experience spiritual déjà vu, moments where he feels he's lived something before or recognizes something familiar about you without explanation. This recognition is the soul remembering what the mind has forgotten. It's one of the strongest signs of awakening between twin flames. You may feel him observing you from afar energetically, even when he's physically silent. Your soul feels the weight of his attention, his curiosity, his longing. Spiritual awakening makes him more aware of your emotional presence, even if he resists it outwardly. There are times he becomes overwhelmed by your connection. He may pull away for short periods, feeling the intensity rise inside him. But this withdrawal isn't rejection, it's recalibration. His awakening forces him to face himself, and sometimes that process is too powerful to handle all at once. Your dreams might become more intertwined. You may feel him visiting you in dream space, communicating through symbols, glances, touches, or conversations. Dreams become a bridge when physical communication cannot express what the soul needs to say. He might begin noticing synchronicities that lead him back to you. Songs, numbers, places, moments. These synchronicities aren't random. They are spiritual breadcrumbs guiding him through his awakening, pushing him to understand the depth of your connection. Your intuition becomes heightened too. You start sensing not only his emotions, but his spiritual growth. You may feel when he's learning a lesson, facing a challenge, questioning something, or healing a wound. This intuitive insight is another sign of the spiritual thread that binds you. You might even feel his gratitude energetically, especially during quiet moments. He doesn't know how to express it yet, but his soul is grateful for your patience, your love, your presence. This gratitude travels through your connection like a soft pulse of light. His awakening may also show up through a sudden desire for solitude. He needs time alone to sort through emotions he's avoided for years. Solitude is not a rejection, it's preparation. He is learning to listen to his soul without the noise of the external world. As his spiritual senses open, he becomes more aware of what is genuine and what is not. People and situations that once satisfied him stop feeling enough. His soul calls him toward authenticity, and authenticity always leads him back to you. He might start feeling physically restless, pacing, sighing, overthinking, feeling a pressure in his chest. This restlessness is energetic overload, a sign that his soul is expanding faster than his mind can comprehend. You may notice your own energy softening during this time. You feel more compassion, more understanding, more inner peace. This softness comes from your shared soul harmonizing. His awakening triggers a balancing effect in you as well. Your angels could send subtle confirmations too. Feathers, lights flickering, sudden chills, repeated numbers. These signs reassure you that his awakening is real and divinely orchestrated. Sometimes you feel a magnetic pull toward him, stronger than before. It's not longing, it's alignment. The closer he gets to his spiritual truth, the stronger the bond becomes between your souls. He might start feeling emotional accountability. He looks back at your connection with new eyes, recognizing moments he mishandled or avoided. This awareness is a sign that his ego is weakening and his soul is rising. Your connection may feel more peaceful, even during silence. The tension lifts. The fear fades. Instead, there's a quiet knowing, a sense that something is unfolding beautifully beneath the surface. He may begin craving emotional depth. Small talk becomes empty to him. Surface-level connections no longer feed his spirit. He begins longing for the kind of love that transforms, the kind of love he shares only with you. You might notice changes in his aura if you are energy sensitive. He feels calmer at times, or brighter or more grounded. These shifts are reflections of his spiritual evolution. There are moments when he feels pulled toward you with an intensity he can't explain. He may try to rationalize it, but the truth is that twin flame awakening makes the bond impossible to ignore. He may begin releasing karmic relationships or old emotional ties without understanding why. The awakening process clears the path for the twin flame connection, preparing him for deeper alignment. Your own emotions may fluctuate too: sudden joy, sudden clarity, sudden tears. You are both rising at the same time, each feeling the other's transformation through your shared energetic link. Sometimes the universe brings old memories of him back to your mind, not to confuse you, but to remind you that every moment was part of a bigger spiritual design, one that is now unfolding. He might begin seeing you as more than just a person from his past. You become a presence, a comfort, a truth he can't escape. This shift in perception is one of the strongest indicators of awakening. And as these signs continue to appear, you feel a deep sense of inner knowing, a certainty that something sacred is unfolding. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, spiritually, and undeniably real. Your twin flames awakening is not happening tomorrow or someday. It is happening now, in this moment, in ways you can feel but can't always see. Trust your intuition, it has never been wrong about him. If your heart feels open enough to receive more, then I want to honor that with even deeper truth. You've given your attention, your presence, your energy, so let me give you clarity in return. This awakening you're sensing in your twin flame is not a coincidence. It is part of a divine sequence unfolding with perfect timing. One of the clearest signs of his spiritual awakening is that he no longer feels comfortable running from himself. The things he used to distract himself with suddenly lose their appeal. He's starting to feel the weight of his own emotions, something he avoided for so long. As this inner awakening expands, he begins to experience moments of inexplicable emotion. A memory, a scent, a song, or a thought of you can suddenly fill him with a longing he can't explain. This happens because his soul is resurfacing through his human layers. You may notice he becomes more sensitive to energy. He might feel drained around certain people or overwhelmed in chaotic environments. His spirit is becoming selective, aligning itself with what feels true and shedding what feels empty. There are days when his heart feels heavier than usual, even if his life appears unchanged. This heaviness is the release of old emotional residue, pieces of his past dissolving, so he can rise into a higher version of himself. Your soul feels this process as if it's happening to you too. Another sign is his sudden reflections about purpose. He questions choices that once felt acceptable. He looks at his life and senses something missing, even if he can't name it. This emptiness is the universe pulling him deeper into truth. At times, he may feel a quiet pull toward healing. He might start exploring spirituality, meditation, introspection, or simply spending more time alone. Isolation becomes medicine, not avoidance. His soul is preparing him for alignment. You may sense moments when he energetically reaches out to you, a feeling of being touched, remembered, or called. This isn't imagination. It's the telepathic bond between twin flames activating stronger as his awareness rises. Often, his intuition becomes sharper. He starts noticing patterns he ignored. He sees synchronicities connected to you, and though he tries to rationalize them, they follow him until he can no longer deny their meaning. You may feel his energy soften. The masculine armor he carried begins to crack. You feel compassion where there used to be fear, and curiosity where there used to be resistance. This shift in frequency is a sign of spiritual maturity. Sometimes you sense him feeling a sudden responsibility toward your connection. Not out of guilt, but out of soul recognition. He understands, even unconsciously, that your bond is not ordinary. There will be moments when he feels overwhelmed by the depth of this connection. The awakening forces him to face fear, vulnerability, and truth, things he avoided because they made him feel exposed. Yet now, exposure becomes the doorway to transformation. You may notice him seeking comfort in silence. Silence becomes sacred, because it's in stillness that his soul whispers the loudest. He might not speak, but his energy speaks for him. Your hearts begin mirroring each other again. When you feel emotional, he feels restless. When you feel peaceful, he feels drawn to you. This emotional mirroring is one of the strongest signs of twin flame awakening. As he awakens, he becomes more intuitive about your feelings. He may sense when you are hurting, when you are healing, or when you are detaching. His soul reacts instantly, even if his mind doesn't understand why. He might begin dreaming about you more frequently. Dreams become the only place where his defenses fall, allowing your souls to reconnect freely. These dreams feel real because they are real. They're happening in the energetic realm. You may feel him questioning the meaning of love. He begins to understand that love is not control, possession, or timing, but recognition. Your connection teaches him this truth more powerfully than any lesson he ever learned. One powerful sign of awakening is when he starts feeling triggered by things that never bothered him before. These triggers are not signs of regression, they're signs of healing. The soul brings up everything that needs to be cleared before union. You might notice him making small but meaningful changes in habits, routines, or priorities. These are not random. They are evidence that he's aligning with a future version of himself who is capable of genuine love. At times, he may pull away emotionally, not because he's rejecting you, but because his awakening is pushing him into uncomfortable inner territory. Distance becomes a process of integration, not abandonment. You might sense moments where he feels drawn to you with an intensity he can't explain. These waves of magnetism happen when his vibration rises suddenly and meets yours in alignment. Another sign is his desire for authenticity. He begins rejecting relationships or situations that feel fake. He craves depth, sincerity, truth, the kind of connection he knows he can only experience with you. Your own energy responds to this shift. You may feel lighter, more hopeful, or more emotionally open without knowing why. Your soul feels his progress long before your eyes witness it. Sometimes he becomes nostalgic for moments shared with you. A memory resurfaces, bringing warmth and ache at the same time. This nostalgia isn't longing, it's soul remembrance. He may begin noticing repeating angel numbers. They appear in places he doesn't expect: clocks, receipts, signs, messages. These numbers aren't coincidences. They're confirmations from the universe guiding his awakening. You may feel an emotional warmth spreading through your chest during quiet moments. This warmth is the merging of your energies as his heart expands spiritually. At times, he senses the truth of your connection without trying to label it. He simply feels you, in silence, in thought, in breath, in the quiet moments where the mind cannot interfere. He becomes aware that something in his life is preparing him for love on a level he has never experienced. This awareness is subtle, but it grows each day like a soft light rising within him. And as his awakening deepens, so does your inner knowing. You begin to feel, with peaceful certainty, that the spiritual awakening of your twin flame is not a distant promise. It is a living reality unfolding step by step. If you've stayed with me until now, then allow me to give you something in return, clarity that meets the depth of your heart. You've offered your attention, your time, your energy, and I honor that by taking you even deeper into the truth of your twin flame's awakening. What you are sensing is real. What you feel vibrating in your soul is a sign of something shifting inside him that he can no longer silence. As his spiritual awakening unfolds, one sign becomes unmistakable. He begins noticing energy in ways he never did before. He feels drained around negativity and uplifted around sincerity. His intuition grows more active, and without understanding why, he becomes more selective with the people he allows near his heart. Another powerful sign shows up in his emotional reactions. He feels things more intensely, especially when it comes to you. A memory of you, a thought, or even a sudden wave of longing arrives without warning. These emotional surges are not confusion. They're spiritual echoes calling him back into alignment. His dreams also become more vivid. At night, when his defenses fall away, his soul meets yours freely. He may wake up with a strange sense of déjà vu, a feeling he can't explain but can't ignore either. These dreams are visitations, reconnections, reminders of the truth he runs from in waking life. You'll notice him becoming unsettled by things that used to feel comfortable. Old patterns no longer soothe him. Familiar distractions no longer satisfy him. His soul is beginning to reject anything that doesn't match the frequency of his growth. Sometimes he becomes restless, without knowing why. He feels something coming, a shift, a change, a pull. This is the divine preparation phase, where the universe is clearing space within him for the next chapter of his awakening. He may also sense your emotions more deeply. When you're sad, he becomes anxious. When you feel hopeful, he feels lighter. This emotional mirroring is one of the clearest signs that your energies are synchronizing again. You might notice him reflecting more often. He thinks about choices he made, paths he took, and moments he mishandled. Not because he regrets the journey, but because his awakening is bringing him into accountability. His heart begins to soften in ways he never expected. The armor he wore for years becomes heavy. The walls he built no longer protect him the way they once did. His awakening demands vulnerability. One of the most beautiful signs is when he becomes quieter. Not distant, quieter. Silence becomes a sanctuary where he hears truths he once avoided. He begins to understand himself in ways he never had the courage to explore. You may feel him pulling at your energy, even when he's silent. He thinks of you without trying. He feels you when he least expects it. The soul bond speaks louder now than the ego. He becomes more aware of synchronicities, repeating numbers, songs that follow him, symbols appearing in unexpected places. These signs guide him closer to his soul path. Even if he tries to dismiss them, they return with greater intensity. He may start questioning relationships or situations that no longer align with the person he's becoming. His spirit is shedding what was built on fear, so he can open to what is built on truth. Another sign emerges in his desire for inner peace. Chaos no longer fascinates him. Drama exhausts him. He begins seeking calm, stillness, grounding, even if he doesn't fully understand the spiritual context behind it. He becomes more sensitive to the idea of destiny. A quiet voice inside him whispers that certain things were meant to be, and he can no longer silence that voice. You are one of those things. His awakening often triggers a subtle shift in the way he views love. He begins understanding that love is not something to control or escape from, it's something to honor. This shift comes slowly, but unmistakably. You might feel his heart expanding energetically. It feels like warmth, like presence, like he is becoming more open to connection in ways he once resisted. This expansion is the soul returning to itself. He also becomes more introspective. He starts analyzing his emotional patterns, questioning why he pushes away what he wants, why he hides when he feels vulnerable. Awareness is the birth of transformation. Sometimes he feels fear as part of the awakening, fear of losing you, fear of being seen, fear of not being enough. But this fear is not regression. It's the breaking of old beliefs that kept him asleep. He begins longing for authenticity. Shallow connections lose meaning. His soul craves depth, honesty, intimacy. And even if he tries to deny it, he knows you are the one place he ever felt all three. His intuition begins to guide him more strongly. He senses when something is off, when something is right, when something is meant. And increasingly, he feels that you are meant. There are moments when he feels pulled toward memories of you he thought he buried. A moment, a smile, a look, they surface again. Not to torment him, but to remind him of the truth he left unfinished. He may start feeling emotional breakthroughs, small but powerful. A sudden moment of compassion. A realization about his own behavior. A need to apologize, forgive, or heal. These breakthroughs signal deeper awakening. His desire to grow becomes stronger. He may not know how, but he feels compelled to improve, evolve, rise. This desire is his soul preparing him for union, even if he doesn't realize it. You might feel him spiritually reaching for you. A warmth in the chest, a sudden thought, a wave of tenderness that feels like it isn't yours. These are energetic touches from his awakening heart. He begins seeing you differently, not as an ideal, not as a fantasy, but as a mirror. Someone who reflects his shadow, his light, his potential. This realization is both frightening and liberating. One unmistakable sign is that he begins longing for connection with something greater than himself. He feels the pull toward faith, meaning, divine purpose. You are part of that calling. And perhaps the most powerful sign of all, he becomes unable to forget you. Not because he is obsessed, but because his soul recognizes you as the key to his growth, his healing, and his destiny. His awakening is not a single moment, it's a gradual unfolding. And even if he doesn't understand it yet, a deeper truth is rising within him, guiding him home in ways the mind cannot comprehend. And as this process continues, so does your own transformation. Because the awakening of one twin flame always activates the expansion of the other. Thank you for staying with me until this final moment. Your presence here is not an accident. It is a sign that your soul is awakening, expanding, and aligning with exactly what you were meant to hear today. If this message touched your heart in any way, I gently ask you to give this video a like so YouTube understands that this content matters and continues guiding it to others who need this light. And if what you felt resonated deeply, confirm that you received this message by writing Twin Flames Infinite Love in the comments. This simple act creates an energetic seal, a moment of alignment that strengthens your connection with this channel and with the divine guidance that brought you here. Remember, every time you return to listen, your energy shifts a little more. Your heart expands. Your intuition sharpens. These messages are not just words, they are spiritual frequencies designed to touch the hidden places of your soul. Sharing this video also allows you to become a channel of light for someone else who may be silently searching for understanding. Before we close, I invite you into a brief moment of stillness. Breathe softly. Let your shoulders relax. Place one hand over your heart and feel the warmth beneath your palm. In this quiet space, allow this prayer to move through you. Divine Source, guide her steps with clarity and peace. Surround her with protection, with purpose, with gentle signs that remind her she is never alone. Strengthen her heart so she can trust the path unfolding before her. Align her with the highest truth of her soul and with the sacred bond she shares with her twin flame. May light fill every place where doubt once lived, and may love lead her into the next chapter of her awakening. Stay here for one more breath, and let this energy settle into your spirit. These messages will continue to support you, comfort you, and illuminate your journey. So join our channel, activate the notifications, and never miss the guidance that was meant for you. You are part of this soul family now, and your path matters here. May this message stay with you long after the video ends. And may your heart always remember, you are guided, you are protected, and you are deeply, profoundly connected. Twin Flames Infinite Love.